Now I am going to show you one thing. Previously I showed you this one, so I am going to make it off. Now I am going to show you what is the functionality of find, and a new method I will show you, that is find or fail. You already know about find because what I did in the case of find, for example, I want to show some particular data. For example, where id equal to 1, that means the primary key data. If you want to search in a table by the primary key, then the primary key value you will have to give in the find function as a parameter. So if I here now want to show the data, for example like this, and printer, using the printer I am going to show you student. So this is the index method, so I am going to show you here student index. So you see that all the data are showing here, and this is actually the Mr. Smith, the first data. Now if you want to show that in a good format, so here you will have to, I am going to show you using the DD, okay, so that you can understand. You see that here is attributes. This is the attributes you get: ID, name, email, age, country, like this, right? So you get only one particular data using this process. But if there is no data, then what will be happen? For example, I give here 100, but actually there is no ID by the name 100, because in the students table my maximum ID is up to 10. Now if I refresh it, you see that the value it is returning, that is null value. This is the functionality of find. But there is another method. There I can use find or fail. Here O is capital letter, okay, so find or fail, this is the function. So when we use the find method, you see that we retrieve the record by the primary key, and if the record is not found, it return null. But in the case of find or fail, what will be happen? It will throw an exception. That means if you give here any ID, if you give here an ID that exists, then you will not actually see the difference between the find and find or fail, because the information will be shown as usual. But if I just give here like before, that does not exist, then if I refresh it, you will see that there is a 404 not found error. That means you will not be able to show the other data. Here can be a lot of other information in this route. For example, I am going to show you like this so that you can understand it well. So in order to do that, I am going to give here, for example, country equal to Bangladesh. You see that here, if there is any error in this line, this should not be shown. Here if I want to show the output, for example like this, so the output should not come in the case of find or fail. If you use the find or fail, these two lines will not be executed, because this line will throw an error. But if you use the find, this value will be null, but the other values will be executed after that. For example, you see that this is Bangladesh. Though there was an error, but as it is returning null, so it does not stop the execution. So you see all the things after that. But if you use find or fail, if there is any error in this query, then in this line, as there will be error, and all the lines after those will not be executed, because this will throw an exception, that is the exception name is model not found exception. So you will see a 404 error. Now if you go here, refresh, you see that 404 error, and the country Bangladesh is not showing here. So this is actually a more secured method, that is find or fail. So it is a good practice. If you use the find method, it is a good practice to use the find or fail. I hope you have understood the difference between the find and find or fail, these two methods.